new. And I need a new phone now. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on. There we go. I'm trying to mess with my phone mount. There we go. Here's that. Well, that looks dumb. Okay. Screw it. I like Big Rich's setup on the phone there. There we go. There we go. How bad is it? Oh yeah, the title. You know, guys, I do these stupid. I forget why I did them. So I get here at the customer. Now, mind you, I've been here before. The shipper I've done many times, broker I know, and I have the right delivery number. I showed up. Actually, I arrived here about 10 after 7. And you have a delivery number, of course. It's one of those places. I put the, get rid of the delivery number, and it's written right. So she's looking at the computer. Now she's on my delivery number. I was on. She was the one that actually scheduled it, and she did. So now I've become a working because of their mistake. But by the time she checked me out, checked the seal, opened the trailer door, but I checked in at like 7:45. It took 45 minutes to do this whole. Here's your bills. Go to door blah blah, check in with the lumper. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So the title is related to the fact that my light is green on the dock. And that's not a good thing, because it means there ain't even anybody looking at my dock, let alone unloading it. They are not in a hurry for these small 17 pallets. Then she goes, well, you know, they shouldn't be too mad about this one, because most of the time that shipper, you know, they hate those. So, you know why? Because you got to count individual things. Like, you might have a case of barbecue sauce, you might have a case of mustard, you might have a case of salt, you might have a case of onions, you know, fried onions. You might have a case of hot sauce, you know, or pallet, you know, so they got to count it. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So I've been looking at the load board, and I think I'm just going to go home, not because I can't find the load, because I got a lot of stuff to tend to, but I don't know how long it's going to take for them to unload here, so I've been keeping an eye on everything for first come, first serve, 100 miles of Springfield. So I love the headset. Let's talk about it. So I got that new Voyager, Plantronics Voyager 10.4. This thing is awesome. Those of you who have talked to me on this, you know how clear it is. It's not too bad either. It's pretty comfortable. My hat clip. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to wear a headset all the time or all day. You know, I'm not the guy that's at the fuel island talking and in the crapper talking, checking in line talking, trying to buy something at the cash register talking. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not also on a live feed with my headset on either. Not that there's anything wrong with that, okay? However, comfort is kind of an issue, but it's not like extremely important. This was my main headset at one time. This is a Blue Parrot. This is on my business phone now. Of course, the ear is all wow. I don't have any extra foamy things. This one sounds pretty good. It's not too bad on the comfort level, but the one that I had on my business phone was like a cheap Celltronics, and that thing was crap. I can hear better with this one. So on calls me on my business phone, like a couple of my friends that actually have that number, and I can talk to them on that. So that's where we're at. Let's see. You bought one weeks ago. Do you like the next gen? Daniel Dami has one. Pale Rider's supposed to be doing a review of it. And I was going to do a review of it, but I want Pale Rider to be first since he got his first. The battery life is amazing. I agree, man. I didn't charge mine. I talked on the phone about 2 or 3 hours yesterday, and I didn't charge it last night. And when I turned it on, it said power high, or battery life high, or something like that. Yeah, Brent, it's the way to go. Headset, stay in the truck. That's right. Now, hey, Zach. Now, the thing I don't like about it, yes and no, is that when it's on, and let's say I'm sitting here like right now, and I want to watch a YouTube video or Facebook video or something like that, the sound goes through that. I'm not sure how I could set that up to where, because I don't like that. I don't listen. If I listen to audio going down the road like Spotify, I don't want it going through that. I want it going through my stereo. The stereo's not Bluetooth, but it's I plug it in. I've got, if you guys have seen my GoPro videos, this is always sticking out. I got this. I plug it in because it's 2008 still in my truck. Off topic, have you seen the video of the duck boat that capsized in their area? They had no business out in that weather. Yeah, we talked about that for a minute, Brent. Okay, so I've ridden those things. Of course, that happened. What Brent's referring to is there's a ride from vehicles called Ride the Ducks. And what it is, it's an old 1950s amphibious military vehicle that they've turned it into a tourist trap ride. And what it is you get on and it drives around, you know, Branson, and you look at all the stuff. The guy that owns the Ride the Ducks owns a lot of the equipment, that military stuff that was used in the show MASH. You know, that's his deal. He collects all that. And they modified them to have side panels when it rains and canopies. And that's what makes them death traps. Because imagine just an open boat, and if it sinks, you know, it can't go side to side. It can't capsize sideways. It would take a pretty big wave to do that. But if it sinks down, people can't escape out the sides. And with it as hot as it is, they don't want everybody wearing the life vest every single time, so they're hanging up above them. Well, little kids can't reach those. So now, the controversy is, should they have been out in the water? Well, one way you look at it, there was a severe thunderstorm watch, and they should have been like adamant about looking at the radar. But these storms do roll in pretty quickly. And so it was a combination of, yes, they shouldn't have been out there, they should have been watching the weather, but they probably thought it ain't going to get that bad. You know, and the way our thunderstorms are, in Missouri, well, I mean, they're like that everywhere, is that they'll come and they'll just like beat the crap out of you for like 10 minutes and then they're gone. And at that very moment, my wife and daughter were driving around, they're hearing tornado sirens. That was a pretty bad storm. And if you see, you know, the lake is 63 miles. 63 miles. So maybe they thought they could avoid it, and one of the captains was able to make it out. You know, there was two. Right, Bandana. So, I must be boring next gen. He went live on Periscope. I knew a couple people that did make it back. I'm sorry to hear that, Wiggle Wag and Pat. Oh, okay, Daniel. Daniel says, call me when you finish this light. I'll show you how to switch it to the radio. Okay, cool. Hey, Keith James, what's up? Free truck wash. Northeast, yeah. So, the worst thing, of course, but if you go to Facebook, you have so many people making judgment calls and just ream the people filming it. You know, what it was is they were inside there's like a river boat. It's like a little cruise you can take. It's like $100. You get dinner and a show, and you're like, oh, I'm on the lake, yeah, you know. And the crew of the showboat was actually trying to help those people. And if you look at the video, there's someone in a regular boat that's trying to help them. And, you know, you're talking about hurricanes, small depression, like all at once. So the people were filming before it sank completely. You know, so it's not like they're like, oh, check it out, look at this, oh, you know. And it looks bad because they're in the middle of eating dinner. So it looked like, oh, look at those pathetic peasants out there in that harsh weather condition. Meanwhile, you know, you could see a waiter or somebody bringing them ice, you know, that kind of thing. So you have all these people making judgments. Oh, you should have been out there helping. You should have done this. You should have done that. You could have done this. You shouldn't have videotaped it. All this stuff, right? And the reality is they couldn't do anything. And the people that could were already outside helping. So the last thing you want is 100 people trying to cram into a space, trying to save, you know, 20 people. Because it becomes a safety hazard in and of itself. So you got to love the Monday morning quarterbacks. I'm in Kansas City, Archie. Good morning, Triple P. If you rename your Bluetooth connections on your phone radio headset, you can connect your headset first, then radio, and radio will have primary for audio, and headset should only pick up calls. That's true, Alamo. My radio is not Bluetooth. I just plug it in. But Daniel said he knows how to, you know, like the thing that I like is if, like just sitting here, it's not plugged into the radio, but I don't want to have my headset on to listen to a video. Brent, I am pretty close to that area and that storm came up fast. They could have very well already been on the water before it got so bad. That's true, Nothing Witty. You know, next time you go through a thunderstorm, look at your radar. I keep a really good radar app on my phone. And, you know, you can see it flare from nothing to red in a matter of minutes. You know, that's one of the hazards of being out here is you're going to drive through some stuff. And their situation. You got to remember the lake's 63 miles long, so it could have been like as sunny as it is right now. in the section that they were at. But once that squall line hits, you know, it's done. So don't show us your hat. There you go, Food Mooch. It was one of my free hats. Right, Adam. Yeah, it was like being in a hurricane, and those vehicles are not designed for that. You know, in the 50s, like, I think they're from the vehicles from the Korean War era. Certain condition, like a certain level of okayness, for lack of a better term. I know I sound like an idiot doing that, but for them to do a landing. I know this because I'm a forecaster, meteorologist for the military. That was his. If there was a mission, it was his job to forecast to make sure that conditions were going to be right whenever they wanted to land. But the biggest problem, and there's videos out there talking about it, is that the canopy literally seals your fate, because you can't. It's hard to escape out the windows. So if you have no swimming ability at all, which is what most have, then that becomes a huge challenge. And everything's sealed in, so you know, no water comes in. But once water started coming in, and you have the small opening, you couldn't get out, that's the safety issue. And the owner of the company said that they shouldn't have been out there. So he basically just sealed the fate and liability of everybody involved. And it's sad, you know, but there are other accidents across the country with the same vehicles. And like, there was one where a barge literally just like ran over one of them. It just basically pushed it down. You know, there's no escape from them. That's the problem. You know, how did everybody die on the Titanic? Well, once they escaped, they were cold in the water, but you know, you gotta be able to escape. Where they have a small boat, and you know, and if you live like, okay, say, an ocean, we're a landlocked area, but if you have children, teach them to swim. Take swimming lessons at the local Y, at the local fitness clubs. Give them swimming lessons, because there's always several people that die a year due to drowning in lakes and rivers. So, what's Food Mooch going on about? Oh, okay. Comments again. So that's about that. So, but yeah, it's amazing to me, going back to topic, is they take such a simple system and they complicate it. At first I thought, well, maybe it was canceled. After I picked it up, I'll just take it back to Springfield. Get paid as a backhaul. There's just no hope. I gotta get home, so there's a bunch of crap I gotta do. My parents made me get swimming lessons when I was a kid. It says Archie. I grew up in Hawaii, where you gotta have some skills when you swim the. But I remember my father, he had watched somebody die at a swimming pool that drowned, and he made it a point to teach us all to swim. And I remember that day pretty clearly. Swim. And you got to teach your kids not to be afraid of the water. You got to, you know, my oldest daughter, she's like 25 now, 25. She, when she was about 8, I was visiting my sister. Or no, she's about 6. She was, you know, I was living with my sister at the time, and she had a small pool. And my daughter was afraid of the pool. So I got her to get in, you know, and then by the end of the day, I was throwing her in the water. I mean, I taught her how to keep her head up. I taught her how to swim. I taught her everything, right? And to the point that I could like throw her in the water, as just horse playing and stuff like that. And today my ex calls and she thanks me, which, you know, when an ex thanks you, you never know what that means. And she's like, thank you for teaching our daughter how to swim. She's no longer afraid of the pool. I guess she took her to the pool the next day at a friend's house, and it was like a different person. You know, you got to be able to, you know, so, you know, the class that we took our kids to, my 2 youngest kids, is they teach you how to swim with your clothes on, like your shoes and everything. Like, okay, and they you know, all but push you in, like, all right, this is the scenario that you might need to swim to safety. And so they teach them all these, you know, how to prevent drowning. And that's important. Not saying that's not what happened with the people on the ride, but I guarantee you that there's probably some of the people that did not have any swimming skills whatsoever. I swim like a rock. I could beat anyone to the bottom of the pool, says Daryl. My ex gave me crap about teaching my son on how to hold his breath underwater, saying he could drown, and I was like, no, that's one of the fundamentals on how to swim. That's how you keep from drowning, right, Daniel Downey? Here's how you keep from drowning. Don't breathe underwater. But no, it's sad, and that's been a popular tourist attraction for many years in Branson. So it's sad. So, you know, hopefully it'll get me unloaded quickly, but I doubt it. The last time I was here, it was 4 hours, and I was on the schedule, waiting for them to call me, tell me how much money I'm gonna owe them. You gotta love lumpers. You gotta love it. Right. I think the main thing is that don't be afraid of the water. Laugh of it. But coffee's all right. I went to the Sapp Brothers, which has the Dunkin' Donuts. And no, I didn't get any donuts. And sat at the register for a minute. The guy looks at me, goes back to do what he does, looks at me again. He had no interest in serving me a cup of their coffee. So I went to the other side of the store, and it's not bad coffee. So not as good as Dunkin' Donuts, but I didn't have any idiocy to deal with. No, Archie. Okay, Archie says, no donuts, that's just wrong. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I was watching the video Pale Rider did of me with he and I hanging out in Effingham the other day. And yeah, I'm overweight. I am. And of course, a couple of trolls got on his channel and made comments about my weight, which is fine. I'm not like boo-hoo, you know. Every now and then I get comments on my YouTube videos about my weight. And then and then Jeff was doing a live feed, and his grandkids called me fat, which is fine. Kids will be kids, you know. And it was funny. He called me after that live feed and was like, you know, hey, pick their punishment. And they're like, got on the phone, sorry. You know, they were really sad. It was funny. And then Big Rich was doing a live feed, and another YouTuber made a comment about my weight. I'm like, okay, guys, where's that YouTuber Captain Obvious at? So he can state the obvious that, okay, I'm overweight. So I have changed a lot of things, not to the point of cold turkey, but I've made a lot of improvements that allow me to lose weight. Now I'm kicking it into the next gear. Okay, and Next Gen, who sent me photos of before and after in just the month that he's been on keto, was amazing. I was watching CPAP's live feed yesterday, and you could tell he's losing weight, right? And so now when I walk into a Dunkin' Donuts, which is what brought this up, I'm no longer tempted. There was a time where if I had the coffee, I'd have like 3 donuts. And that's like 1,000 calories right there. All carbs too. And if I'm going to be a better husband, a better father, a better truck driver, a better business owner, and not have to need a wheelchair or leg amputation or not even be able to drive because I turned diabetic, I have to do something. I have to change. I used to be a very active person. I used to be an avid bike rider. And it really sucks that there's a lot of things I can't do. A lot of like cool band. A lot of people are like, hey Steve, if you're a metalhead, how come we don't wear a whole lot of band t-shirts? Because they don't make them in 4X a lot of times. And that bums me out. You know, there was like, we were taking the kids to the mall the other day, and we went to Hot Topic. And of course, you know, I'm the old weird creepy man, but I'm in the corner looking at the, you know, they got shirts like Led Zeppelin, Iron Maiden, stuff, Metallica, stuff like that. And I can't wear any of them because they don't even know. I've had Julio over there at Snyder. He's approached me. He was worried about my weight. People have seen my old videos. People have seen my old photographs on Facebook. I realize I have a weight issue. I realize that. So whenever it says, oh man, Steve, you're fat, you know, with the exception of the grandkids, because, you know, they're kids. What good does that do? You're not telling me something I don't know. You know, you're not helping me. You could sit there, you know, Julio was trying to help me. Julio was like, Steve, I'm really concerned about your weight and your health. That was the way he put it. And then when you see what happened with Captain Jim, and you know, Gear Grabber has come across not 1 but 2 drivers at a truck stop within a couple of months apart, that one was having heart issues, and the other one was having a stroke. Truck driver, I mean, when you guys all go to GATS, look at the health quality of drivers. It's a problem. And nobody's addressing that problem, hardly. I mean, Kevin Rutherford's got his health aspect, you know, show going on, but it focuses on too much of the keto thing. There's other things that can be focused on. You know, you've got PA Petro that's got like the fitness centers, you know, and because no one wants to walk in a urine-filled, smelling, dangerous parking lot. So it you know, we're always under stress. You know, just driving down the road can be it's a little bit of stress, and that's why people stress eat. You eat out of boredom. You eat because it smells and tastes good. I mean, there's just so many things that are stacked against the truck driver. And for you people that don't drive trucks, think about when you go on your road trips. What do? You eat like crap. because you're eating nothing but fast food or convenience food. So imagine that's what truck drivers feel all the time. Snow Runner. Do a live feed standing next to me, says Ryan. Right, Archie. Archie says, screw those trolls and screw what people say. I'm overweight as well. I'm working on it. Yeah, it's hard because... Yeah, that's another one. Princess Percy Pants. She's part of the Trucker Review channel. They're doing keto. And you can tell. I was watching her video this morning, and I could tell. You can see it in your face. You can see it, you know? And so the keto works. And whether you go keto, paleo, or fasting, the three things those things have in common is that you're taking out food. And that is where the evil lies, is processed food. You know, I literally, when I go to Walmart, I buy chicken breasts, the rotisserie chicken, and frozen vegetables with no preservatives in them. That's all I buy. I know, Archie. No, you didn't offend me. You're good. TJ, what's up? TJ's another one that's done the keto thing. Keith James, I'm down from 338 to 213, and doctor's still on my ass about being overweight. Keith James, how did you lose that weight? And how long did it take? You got your 4X, I'll raise you 5X. Orion, I've met you in person, and I was heading towards the 5X realm. Up. Brent says, I've been on keto for a few months now. I'm very happy with it, although it's very difficult to follow it strictly, closely. For keto, I was always hungry. Right, Pat says, look at all the trucks. Hog Rider says, I did vegan diet, lost 30 in 30 days. Daryl says, you didn't put the weight on in one day and it doesn't come off in one day either. Right. Big Rich, what's up? Down to 180 on keto, says Provost. Pounds down to 208 since February. No soda, eating healthier. One surprising side effect in keto, I had read about the increased mental clarity and brushed it off. After being on it for a while, I'm noticeably less mentally cloudy. Brent, let's talk about that for a second. When I did the all vegetable juice fast, you know, the kind that you got to put it through the juicer, you know, buy $80 worth of produce for a week's worth of juice. Something strange happened. After about 3 to 4 days, there was this mental clarity. And then about a week later, I was having these vivid dreams, remembering stuff that I'd completely forgotten about. And then a song would come on the radio, and I would be able to recite every lyric of the song, even though it's not my favorite song, even though I haven't heard it in a while. It was a very strange experience, you know. And a friend of mine that's come overseas, he says that whenever he's on the American diet, there's like this fog, like kind of like you have the flu. And so that's why a lot of religious groups do fasting. It's for that mental clarity. When I had to fast for a doctor's point, how much your body's retaining, just all fat. But that mental clarity after 2 weeks, oh my gosh, I was like, it was easier for me to make decisions. I didn't get angry. I didn't have depressive moments. I had motivation to do what needed to be done. It was amazing. So that just tells you how much, like there's a Family Guy episode where Stu gets real fat, right? And he gets kind of like almost lethargic. But the mental clarity becomes a new high. And then the weight loss is pretty easy at that point. Well, gee, Steve, if you lost so much weight on that juice fast, what happened? Well, I couldn't maintain that because when you have a T660 at the time that I did, putting $100 worth of groceries, of vegetables, and juicing that every day or every other day is not the easiest thing to do. You don't, everywhere you look, there's a vegetable. Like, your truck gets inundated with vegetables, right? And then I had to train somebody. And there's barely enough 660 to begin with. So when I had to train, that's when I had to break the fast. And I didn't change the habits I needed to change. So it was a fast weight loss plan, and it worked. Stick. And that's the trick. Is it has to be maintained. Keto is a little bit easier to maintain because I got to avoid hospitals. Is it easier said than done? Yes, but I know people that came from a regular life, started keto when they became truck drivers, and they lost weight. Normally when you become a truck driver, you gain weight. And these people have lost weight doing the keto thing. And you just got to have enough. Like, you could buy a triple cheeseburger from Wendy's, but you have to have the mentality to take the bun out and then not eat like crap for the rest of the day. You know, it does you no good. Keto does you no good if you're consuming like 4,000 calories a day. And the amount of sodium, that's the challenge, because you can sit there and all eat bacon and eggs and lunch meat and pickles, but your sodium intake is through the roof, and that's not good either. Ace says I'm back in a 2X, unfortunately. Cut out carbs, sugar, and walked a lot, but I lost my leg in an accident. That's how little. So it's a little harder to exercise. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Keith. Barrett says, I used to be 397. I'm now 244. I lost mine over 2 years. I had a bypass. Thank you, Brent, for that website. www.rule.me has the best description of the keto diet. So it's a challenge we all face, and I'm thinking about, you know, I've had a few live feeds. Let's talk about health a minute. And I've been on the phone a lot with this gal here that wrote this book, Carolyn O'Byrne. She's kind of a health coach, and this is a pretty good book. I got this at the truck show last year, and she's got it in like book form, and then this is the audio book. And it has a lot of interesting aspects that you don't think about. And since I help her a little bit with YouTube advice and information, she helps me with the health stuff. Christian Trucker, what's up? I hope you're well, my friend. Have you found anything on keto to replace chips? Mitch Hawthorne. Okay, so Mitch, the way that I approach keto and paleo is to simplify. All these people that do almond flour and, you know, and create snacks that look like snacks, but vegetables, it's easy. If you're a road snacker, like you go down the road, you always got to snack on something. Vegetables is the best way to do that. They sell radishes in like a chip form. They sell carrots in a chip form. You know, I'll eat peppers, like green peppers, bell peppers, like apples. You know, of course, you got broccoli, cauliflower, baby carrots, and all that stuff. So that's what I used to do a lot. However, I realized that if I don't have those things, what do? I buy the chips. So it's easier. Well, I'm not saying easier. What I've tried to focus is, let's get rid of the habit of snacking while going down the road. You know, think about a cigarette smoker. one of the habits they got to break is the act of, you know, smoking whatever, you know, the hand to mouth, you know, big riches isn't a thing that's supposed to help that. So you chew on straws, you know, a lot of people eat when they were trying to quit smoking, that kind of thing. And so I told myself I need to get rid of the snacking habit, because if I don't have those vegetables in the truck and the Flying J's out of them, or then I buy the can of Pringles, you know, then I buy the chips. And so to answer your question, that's what I've used. Now, there's a section of Walmart where they've got like kale chips and chips made out of basically dehydrated beets, that kind of thing, so that might help. But I found them very hard to chew. And so there are alternatives out there. You just gotta, you know, Walmart's got probably the best selection of alternative food stores. But I'm trying to just do away where I don't want chips anyways. Problem with keto diet is if you have high cholesterol, it's not good for you. Right, Kaislyn, I think a lot of people think that keto is nothing but cheeseburgers and bacon. And you know, you gotta do lean. You gotta do lean versions of protein. You know, you got the fat, you know, there are good fats and bad fats. So again, it's difficult, you know, that if it's not one thing or another, you know, if you're trying to avoid sodium, keto is kind of hard. So you got to almost take like a paleo approach, you know, just meat and vegetables without any preservatives. So I lost the weight, did not follow it strictly, had ice cream with magic shell the other night. Seen on my rump, waiting on truck to get fixed. I'm trying to do low carb again. Christian Trucker, I hear you. Big Rich says it's been almost a month since the last cigarette. That's awesome, Big Rich. Field of Green is amazing. It's all fruits and vegetables in powder form. It's real fruits and veggies, not imitation crap. Pork rinds. Yeah, pork rinds are a good alternative to chips. The good fats do not come from animals. That's true. That's why a vegan diet can help lose weight rapidly too. What's your favorite cheat snack? What do you mean? Like, that's not keto friendly? I don't know, man. I used to like the cakes and donuts and stuff, but they kind of make me sick now. If I do fall off the bandwagon and have a donut, which I haven't done in quite a while, sorry for the noise, this guy's pulling out. I don't know, I like boiled peanuts. That's a snack that I indulge in every now and then, especially when I'm in the South. That's about it. Has your digestive system changed, good or bad? Yeah, I actually feel better. I'm not having those emergency bathroom moments. You know, sorry, TMI. And you guys have all had them. You know, you pull up to the fuel island, set your brakes, and run. You know, we've all had those. And yeah, that's the other reason that's been kind of a kick in the butt, is that if I eat something with a high sugar amount, high carb amount, I feel like crap. That's the thing, man. You know, that's what Carolyn talks about in her book. If you sit down and really feel what the food is doing to you, you wouldn't eat half of it. And it's engineered. If you read the book Salt, Sugar, Fat, it's engineered to make us forget that it's bad for us. Kind of like heroin and meth, you know? You know, a person takes heroin and meth and they don't realize it's killing them. It feels good, and then at a certain point they realize it's killing them, but they don't care. just like cigarettes. How many people do you know that smoke cigarettes that are like, I don't care if it kills me, puff, 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 you know, and they could have an oxygen tank hooked up and they're sitting there, you know, puffing. Food has become that way. How many times have you guys seen the real heavyweight person on the little motorized cart at Walmart that that has a cart full of Dr. Pepper or Pepsi and Hostess, you know? That's a person that has given up on life. You know, they're laced with bandages, and they're buying up all the 2-liter bottles of Coke. Big Rich, I love this headset. I was talking about it earlier. I love it. So, Pale Rider's going to do a really good review on it. But this is really nice. And the clarity of the speaker is really good. Like, you know, and like I said, I was on the phone with Harold and James Best the other day. And I could literally walk around the truck, not lose signal. And I was able to put my head next to the APU while I was running, and next to the engine while I was running. They could barely hear it. Provo says hard-boiled eggs are the best snack. I agree with you, Provost. However, those pre-peeled eggs that you buy in the store, those taste like rubber. So what I like to do if I'm at home, I don't get a chance to do it very often, but when I do, I'll take a dozen of eggs and I'll boil them, and then I'll bring those with me because they taste better. And if you can get boiled eggs from like a local farm instead of the store, even better. That's a good recipe for... You're silly. Never mix your heroin and meth kits. I don't know, man. You watch live PD and there's plenty of people like, oh, we found heroin and meth and all this other stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to watch my weight. So all these people go, oh, you're fat. Well, no, duh. You guys have seen that YouTuber, Captain Obvious, pop up on the live feeds? That's what it reminds me of. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Thank you for pointing out that I'm overweight. But generally, that's the same. But anyways, we got a green light still. It has turned red. And I've been here for over an hour. Crap. Cool. Hey guys, I think it's my old truck. There's my old truck. You put some graphics on it. Oh, this phone thing's ticking me off. There we go. So what else do you guys want to talk about? We talk about the ride the ducks ride and how dangerous it is. We talked about the importance of learning to swim. We've talked about the importance of diet and exercise. Well, not really exercise, but diet. Let's talk about exercise. Walk around a lot. So we've done that. We've covered that. We've congratulated Rich on a whole month without smoking. So kudos to you, sir. We talked about how places like where I'm at like to complicate things, and 17 pallets. It's not even a half a trailer in this trailer. Like it could in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The earth is flat. Oh, the earth isn't flat. You're right. So, let's talk about that for a minute, kind of. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, if someone said that the earth was flat, everybody would look at you, laugh, and then it was done. There was no other communication about it. Even if the guy put out flyers, right? It's not going to get outside of town, right? Now, that person that can say that the earth is flat can get a website, can get social media, he can get a following, he could have his voice heard all across the world. That's kind of scary. And I commented on, okay, so somebody on the Rate Per Miles page, or one of the rate pages, posted about, why does everybody talk bad about someone that wants to be a fleet owner when you're fleet owners yourself? That kind of thing, right? And I made a comment that most owner-operators discourage other people from becoming owner-operators because they're having... And then, of course, now I'm seeing all the notifications every time someone comments. So a lot of times I don't comment on things when I know it's going to be a hot topic because, number one, my opinion doesn't matter. Number two, I don't want 300 notifications about how people ate ELPs because I've heard it all. Point to it. Anyways, I forgot to turn off notifications to this one dude, and wrote everything in all caps. Right? It was this insane level of like schizophrenia, you know. So just out of curiosity, I clicked on his profile, and oh my gosh! If you guys saw it on Facebook, I posted how sometimes you come across a profile and it scares the crap out of you. That was this guy. That's what created this. And wow, it was all caps. The guy was typing in all caps. And he made judgments of Chad Boblet and Landstar and truck drivers and hillbillies and he, if I could picture him going down the road, he's got the scowl, he's got permanent intentions of how, and he shouts everywhere because he types in all caps. He's shouting on CB. He's shouting at the broker. He's got several references to the movie The Shining, where he posted video clips, and he says, "This is what needs to happen to the brokers. This is what needs to happen to truckers that take $2 or $1 a mile. This is what happens. This is what should happen to truckers that claim that they're getting $4 a mile when they're only getting $2." I'm like, holy moly, dude, you're gonna die of a heart attack. Can't believe. And of course, you know, these kind of people get played into the emotions with those fake news articles, or those news articles that are designed to stir your emotions. These are the people that they want. These are the people that make you go, oh man, let's see how many people can be pissed off about a subject, and let's really just ride that wave so we can make money on both sides of it. You know, like the whole transgender, flat earth, Asian, Republican, Democrat, capitalism, socialism. All that stuff is designed to stir the pot, get the bees all stirred up. And this guy was the perfect product of that. The perfect byproduct. The perfect, like just so much rage. You know, I've met some of the most angriest individuals in death metal music. I've met these people, and they are nothing compared to what this dude was portraying on Facebook. It's the kind of guy that would shoot up a building full of people, and people, you know how sometimes that happens, like, oh, he was a nice guy, I can't believe you do that. No, you would look at his Facebook profile and go, yeah, should have saw it coming. Like, to the point that maybe they're watching him anyways. And this guy's driving a truck. This guy is driving an 80,000-pound death machine. Completely mentally unstable. Damn flies. Mitch Hawthorne, my wife wants to team with me. Is there any benefit to teaming in the short game? Mitch, yes and no. That's a dumb answer, I know. Let me try that again. I don't know, because a lot of places like this in the short game, you have a set appointment anyways. Now, if you never had to worry about your clock, that might be a benefit. And the short game does pay better. It depends on where you're at. If you're choosing from the spot market, it could potentially pay better. And then to not have to worry about your clock, a lot of carriers have taken that approach. So if you got a 600-mile run that picks up at 7 a.m. Monday morning and delivers at 5 a.m. Tuesday morning, then you don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about stopping and starting your clock. So that's where it can be a benefit. Team drive, in my opinion, not a fact, but opinion, is husband and wife team. I agree with you, Daryl. Orion's get all science on us. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm not a trucking expert. I've been out here just a couple of years. I only drive in Missouri, so I don't know anything. Let's see, what else can we tackle? The amount of obsession that people have on the other YouTubers is kind of amazing to me. The amount of hatred for some of these other YouTubers is amazing to me. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's interesting to me. Let's say you got 5 drivers. One drives a long-nose Pete. One drives a long-nose W9. One drives a T680. 387. Or 386, sorry, 386. The other one drives a automatic Volvo, okay? That's 6, okay, 6 drivers. We all call the same broker. We're all coming from the same place. And we all get the load for the same price. How much money is each driver? It all comes down to your net. The guy with the 680, his cost might be higher than the guy with the long-nosed Pete because he's got way more house bills to deal with, or he's got higher insurance rates. Okay? If you have one of the nice hooded trucks, it costs more per mile to get it down the road. And Big Rich made a good point about being competitive, because let's say everybody agrees to do this load for $1,000, then somebody with a small fleet truck that gets 8 miles to the gallon comes in there and says, I'll do it for $900. Well, who do you think the broker's going to use? The broker's going to go to that. And maybe that guy doing it for $900, he might gross $900, but he'll net $700. Whereas somebody with a different truck will gross or net only 6 or only 5 because of the costs. You got to calculate your cost per day, per mile, per month, per week, It's all tied in together. It's all like jumbled. It's all part of the package. Whatever truck you decide to drive, whether it's aerodynamic or not, you can have an aerodynamic truck and not get good fuel mileage. And you can have a non-aerodynamic truck and get decent fuel mileage. It all depends on the freight you're hauling, the way you drive the truck. But in the end, none of that matters. In the end, you have to calculate what your cost per mile, per day, per week, per month is, and can you haul freight that keeps you above that level? That's it. It's all about the net. You know, the little bike coach made a joke that that's all I say, but it's true. Because you could take two guys with aerodynamic Freightliners. One's paying $1,500 a month for his truck, and the other one's paying $4,000 a month for his truck. Whose cost is higher? Who's got more flexibility when you're laid over for a day, or you lose a day, or you lose a week of revenue because of one mistake or another, or downtime because your truck got hit, or because you're an idiot and fell down and broke your leg, right? Who's got that flexibility? Why do you think that a lot of lease companies do weekly payments? Is to keep you rolling. Because guys that have $1,500 truck payments may not want to work as hard as the guys that have $4,000 a month payments. Because they know that their cost is higher. They got to keep running. So brokers want those guys because, hey, we're not going to pay you $2 a mile. We'll pay you $1.50, but it's 1,000 miles. So that's a lot of money right there, right? It's $2,500. And the higher your costs are, the harder you got to work. Now, you can work smarter, but when the market dips, that's a lot harder to do. And in the end, you've got all these people judging other people for what trucks they want to drive. You know, I've been talking to a friend of mine that's thinking about getting a W9, and he keeps telling me that he knows it's a bad idea. You know, he's preemptively like saying, hey, this is a bad idea, but I really want that truck. So, you know, my message to him is, if you can figure out how to make that cost per mile low with that truck, then there's that truck. Could he make more versus the guy with the aerodynamic? Yeah, but maybe that guy with the aerodynamic truck has a just as high truck payment. You know, so he'll make money on the fuel end. Jeff has talked about that, and he's made a lot of good points about that. But in the end, you've got 1,000 truck drivers on YouTube telling you or showing you how they do business, and you got 1,000 others for each person judging on how they do their business. You know, if you want business advice, you go to people like Jeff, because he's doing it successfully. He's owned big hooded trucks. He's done it all. You know, he gave me the valid argument of his lease versus a paid off truck. And then you got guys like Roscoe that is swearing by the paid off truck. How competitive can you be? Rich made up a good point. So when times get tough, or when you're delayed for a day, or when things happen, how do you adjust to that? How do you know, you could have a paid off truck, but unless you've got like $25,000 in the bank, one breakdown could take you out. So how do you deal with all that? I've got a red light, people. Here are some fuel mileage per gallon related numbers I calculated. 10,000 miles per month, 350 gallon, 6 miles. Okay. So Brenda's putting up the numbers. Yep, you're paying $19,000 more per year. And I get that. That goes to that cost. Okay. But there are people paying large amounts of money for trucks that they're not happy with that good fuel mileage. But see, that are better than others. If you want to buy a big hooded truck, I don't care. Would I buy a big hooded truck? Probably not. I like having a $1,500 a month payment. I like getting 8 miles a gallon. Now, will my truck retain the same value as a big hooded truck? Probably not. Can I enter in a truck show tomorrow? Probably not. Or I could, but I look dumb, you know. If you go to the Guilty by Association truck show, you will see what nice trucks look like. And a lot of these guys are using these trucks at shows to promote their company. So they got the work truck, then they got the show truck. Sometimes they're combined. Sometimes you got show trucks that are higher quality, but those guys are doing a higher amount of freight. They're doing this in the fuel mileage. And so you got to find a special niche. You got to find, like, you know, show, like at Landstar, a lot of the big, nice, really show quality trucks, guess what they do? They do trade shows. They do high profile loads like the Christmas tree for the White House. They do, you know, they're not doing generic dry van freight that only pays $250 a mile. Because in that market, the van market is completely highly competitive. So the guy with the lowest cost is the winner. The guy with the biggest net is the winner. So the problem that I have is that we're all obsessed about it. Everybody's all up in everybody's business. You need to run this way, when they know their trucks cost them a lot of money. And I could go out and buy a new truck tomorrow, but I might be looking at a $3,000 a month payment. I really don't want to do that. I could have a $20,000 repair tomorrow, and I have to buy something new, or I have to, you know, get a loan to get that paid off, and that'll bring up my cost per mile. So what it comes down to, like Brent was pointing out, if you're acceptable with the numbers that you are faced with the cost of running that truck, then that's how you run a business. I'm not a business expert. I'm not a trucking expert. I'm just a truck driver trying to make it, you know. I try to be better about business. I don't think I have the business know-how or the knowledge to get a $180,000 big hooded truck. So in a way, I look at that as kind of out of my league. But at the same time, I have avoided a lot of the pitfalls that have taken other people down. And when times got tough at Landstar, when we were going through a recession, I survived. Why? Because my costs were low, and I didn't have to maintain an expensive truck. Buying a 350-inch W9 with 900 horsepower, hoping to get 10 miles per gallon. That is the dream right there. You got to be comfortable in a truck as well, yeah. Why do your lungs hurt, Orion? CPAP, I was just talking about you. Are your ears burning? Let's talk about how much weight it looks like you've lost just sitting in your chair, man. That keto thing going on. Boys, I think they're low to me. Get to looking at the load board and stop yapping my gums. Yeah. That's all I do is talk too much. So we're going to end it right here. Thanks for watching. You know what? If we just do a live and let live, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not stabbing anybody in the back, and you're doing well for yourself so you can help others, that's all that matters. The kind of truck you drive does not determine who you are. How you handle your business is what determines whether you're successful or not. And even then, bad luck can get you. You can have a brand new truck and have it screw up on you. We've seen that. You can have an old truck and have it screw up on you. I've done that. Been there. Got the shirt. But in the end, just do what you do, man. All these sub YouTube channels that are dedicated to hating other YouTube channels, that is hilarious to me. Nobody knows how to just be happy for anybody. No one knows how to be non-judgmental anymore. No one knows how to just leave it alone. All right, Daniel, I'll call you. Ryan, hope you're not going to suffocate there. I'm not happy, I'm not down, CPAP. You got to watch the whole live feed, dude. I've just addressed a few things that are on my mind. Need to go jump on the Kubota and dig a trench. Someday I'll own land where we'll need a Kubota. That'll be kind of neat. That's why I don't get a big hooded truck, because I know they're expensive and I want to be able to buy nice things at the house. Because I know that I like having the lower cost per mile, so I like my net. Alright guys, Lumber is probably going to call me real soon. Then I got to call the broker to get a lumper code and blah 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 blah. I can do all that. Plus I need to start looking at the dat board. Hey Mike, what's up? Here's what's up, Bruno. This live feed is done. Thanks for watching. Be good.